Okay, for those of you who are not in the know, I have a record keeper centric website. That is what we're looking at currently. It has a very handy tool, which is basically the page everyone looks at, called the event list. You can find it at the link posted in chat by Shimra. Or, yeah, the events list for the specific link. What we're going to be doing is going ahead past the Onion Knight Rises event till next week, which is the Dress to the Nines event. It's going to be on Thursday. Breaking from what the Onion Knight should have started on January the 10th on Wednesday. The 18th is going to be on Thursday. And then we have already mined that the next event after that is going to be on a Wednesday as well. January 24th, and that's the Type 0 event. Which means we're going to be getting a maintenance likely the week of the 24th. That's where I believe that when we're going to get our maintenance. I know a lot of people have been asking that question, and almost always it's to the last point in which we have translated. Not what we have mined for dates, because we do have this. This is kind of a guaranteed thing, like 99% guaranteed. They have been known to change them, but we don't have a translated header image for the Type 0 event. We do have a translated header image for the Dress to the Nines event. So this will be the last event that happens before we get maintenance. Onion Banner is up for 2.5 weeks. Yes, it is. So I'm going to go into Dress to the Nines right now. This is an event celebrating all the females in the game that have gotten dress records. Wardrobe records, sorry. Dress Materia's Final Fantasy X2. Notable changes to dishes. Music Room is now accessible permanently from the library menu. You can expand your track collections by completing dungeons to unlock them. Schedule. Every day a new dungeon will be unlocked that has an iconic boss related to the character. Each dungeon has classic and elite difficulties and comes with SID missions with additional moat rewards. Sorry. Clearing each dungeon rewards you with a dress record of the character plus iconic music tracks for each girl. Have a good night, Blue Blur. So ignore the dates because this is Japan's mega thread. So the first day is most likely going to be Creole, Yuna, and Riku. Second day, Celeste, Lena. Third day, Tifa and Rydia. Fourth day, Faris, Yuna. And the fifth day is going to be Terra, Lightning, and Garnet. I would expect these to be just as they were in Japan. Probably for the reuse of assets. Less work for them is more money for them. SID mission conditions, well... Thief Riku equipped. So you need to please, everybody. If you want to finish these missions and get your extra motes, equip the wardrobe records. What's up, Blender? You want to watch the event preview too? Some of them only leather suit Tifa. So there's a few here where you're only going to want to bring, one person, but that's fine. Any fight that they plan on making you only do one person for, pretty much positive that they're going to be easy. You could probably just RW in something and just win. So the more important part of this is the relic draw banner. Everything else is just, okay, we're going to throw a bunch of easy content at you and you can get your wardrobe records. The important part that everyone wants to see as part of this event is the banner, which I believe will be exactly the same. Because this is all the characters, or all the female characters in the game that have gotten wardrobe records. And it is everything that is in their pool, Super Soul Break and up. So Rydia's USB, OSB, Burst Soul Break 1 and 2, LMR, and a Super Soul Break will be there. Rydia is a Water Mage, but her Burst Soul Break 1 is also Earth, which using her Burst Soul Break 1 and OSB in conjunction actually makes her a decent Earth Mage at the same time. Yeah, there's no need for keystones. Oh, yeah, good call. Can it collect all? So it's got Rydia's things. I think, honestly, the most valuable thing on this banner is probably, in my, like, for what I want, it'd be Rydia's model, because this is plus water light armor, I believe. Otherwise, I think it's a little unfortunate that what Rydia takes, or must have to be good, it all includes having more than one relic. Like, her OSB, obviously, you need other relics to make that good. USB is not that great by itself, but could be better with the OSB. Could be better with the Burst Soul Break, too, as well. The Minerva Bustier, which is kind of a quick cast Imperil Water Burst. Yeah, I mean, I can't mince words. I think this is, everything on here except Rydia's LMR is probably a weak part of the banner. Unless you're a Rydia fan or something. Which there are many. So, there's probably a lot out there that find a lot of value in that one. Lena. Lena's dress, USB, Burst Soul Break 1 and 2, and Mace of Zeus Super Soul Break. One decent burst. Her Burst Soul Break 2 is a Kiraga Medica that has a minor ice resistance. So that's a decent healer burst, but really the highest, like, one of the better healer soul breaks in the entire game is actually part of Lena's pool, and that's her USB. Attack matching resistances plus 30% and 3,000 HP stock to the party. Not only is that a very good soul break, but Lena's dress, the USB itself, is a plus holy damage light armor, which is pretty good for just about anybody who plays the game. So that would be an absolute win, I think, just across the board. Otherwise, nothing all that valuable here. I would say runner-up would be your Burst Soul Break 2. Now, Faris has some decent stuff going on here. Her Fairy's Bow is a triple debuff of attack, magic, and mind, so it's all the offensive statistics. And also Imperil wins while she's at it. And she, as a support, she pretty much has a higher, damage potential as compared to a lot of supports because of her LMR, which is also on this banner. Up to medium damage increase based on number of stat debuffs on target. If you're using Faris for anything but the Imperil Wind, you're probably going to be debuffing the boss quite a bit. What's nice is Mind is included in the USB itself, which is usually the toughest one to hit on all 5 statistics. And if all 5 statistics are debuffed, then she's pretty damn good. She does a lot of damage. Have a good night, Senbu. Not really that big of a fan of her long coat. It's really just a Super Soul Break that does a Penta Break and damage. That's about it. So, yeah, it's not really a USB. It's more like a Super Soul Break. Faris's Bracers. This is just 4 Area of Effect Imperil Wind. This is really old and pretty bad. Faris's LMR is just adding damage to her, and that's, while I kind of maybe overhyped it a little bit when talking about her USB 2, She's not a damage dealer. She can deal damage, and that's fine, but her goal is to debuff, and unfortunately her LMR does not help her debuff at all. So Faris's pool, believe it or not, other than perhaps her Burst Soul Break, her Burst Soul Break is very interesting. It's a very standard Burst Soul Break that just full breakdown's a single target. And that's usually considered a pretty blasé kind of thing. But it's not on Faris, because Faris is also a 5-star dancer. And with the introduction of the new 5-star dancer abilities, her getting the ability to full break on entry, attack breakdown, and magic breakdown on her commands opens up her her ability slots for using abilities. And that's awesome because of the new dancer abilities. She can break statistics pretty deeply with just her Burst Soul Break, and then it actually turns into a good relic. Just by virtue of being on Faris. So I like Faris's USB 2. I like her BSB. Everything else kind of... Then again, Faris's Pauldron, the LMR, is a plus win to light armor. So if you're in the market for something like that, then you got something else for it to look forward to. Creole is our first super character on this list with a Chain Soul Break for fire. And not only is it a Chain Soul Break, but it's a quick cast 2 Chain Soul Break, which is going to be good for, well, for as far into the future as we can tell. In OSB, and you know, OSBs go with characters that have good things. Creole has a bunch of good things. Unfortunately, this occurs before the next Final Fantasy V event, so her USB isn't here. But Creole's CSB, her Chain, and her LMR are both very good. Her LMR is plus fire armor, and it starts her with End Fire, which is really good when you have her Chain. Or it will work good if you've got her OSB, because there's nothing wrong with, you know, starting character off with End Fire and spamming fire abilities and using OSBs when you can. That's a good 25 seconds of a powerful damage dealer. So that's something to look forward to. Her Burst Soul Break is considerably less useful. It's just an old End Fire burst. But will work fine with her OSB. For the same reason her LMR is good. The LMR is just better because you don't have to use any Soul Break points for it. Fire Lash is old sheep song. I wish I had an emote in the channel for this. Creole's Beastmaster is a classic. It is the reason why she's on this banner. I don't know if anyone actually needs this anymore. There's so many Heiska Faithkas. But I don't know, I've even used this recently. Probably everyone's valuing Heiskas a little bit more thanks to Crystal Tower. And I have used Creole's Fire Lash Sheepsong here for every Crystal Tower, I believe, because it's one of my better Heiskas. So there we go for her. Beast Killer is nothing important. Terra is also another super character. Arguably as good as or better than Creole. It's tough to say that, because Terra is a solo character while Creole is a team character. Why not both? Terra's Apocalypse, her USB is 10 single target, fire and elemental, and fire in X mode magic tech warrior. This just gives her 30% magic and reduces all of her cast times by half. Great. Awesome. Great for Terra. And by all cast times, it means all cast times, and that includes things that don't deal damage, don't deal have anything to do with fire, including Wrath, roaming warriors, and whatnot. It's just really, really good on Terra, and probably makes her worth diving by itself. Terra's OSB is a really good thing to team up with her USB and her Legend Dive, because everyone likes super fast casting out OSBs. It's a pretty legendary combo at this point. Terra's Arm Guard, this is her Burst Soul Break 2, It's just a kind of a standard Endfire burst, kind of just slightly better than Creole's. The difference here is this is a plus fire armor. Bracer even, so that's pretty nice. Stardust Rod is her first burst soul break. It is awful. Asura's Rod is her LMR, 25% chance to dual cast fire. That's great. And her Tiara is buried under her other two Endfires. It's just 4 area effect and Endfire. You probably don't want that. And Madoween's Horn is even worse at 10 single target non-elemental magic damage. That is just awful. So for the good things that Terra has, and there are many, which is 3, I would say LMR, OSB, USB are top tier stuff. She does have Reverse Soul Break 1 and Super Soul Break 1, trying to weigh it down. They're unsuccessful because Terra's just that good, but they do exist. Bliven, did you pull again? I'm glad you hit the dream if you pulled again, but that was a really greedy thing. Okay, you didn't pull again, okay. Do characters keep the stats for mastering even bad items? Yes, they do. Or are those mastery bonuses well equipped? They keep them. When you master it, you get these statistics. But the soft cap was raised, I think, 6 months ago, maybe a little bit less, and we know that into the future, even in Japan, it still hasn't been raised. Not that getting additional statistics is a bad thing, but it's not as important as it once was, because as the game progresses and power creep progresses, there become more and better ways to increase your statistics. Inside the battle with buffs, with Magicite, with USB self buffs. So when you approach the soft cap, additional statistics above that don't really mean as much anymore. So yeah, these do something because it's a soft cap. Soft cap means that things still are effective, you've just hit a point of diminishing returns, meaning past that point, things are less effective. Realm bonus does respect the soft caps, yes. So realm bonus will definitely have you run into that soft wall. So statistics is not that big of a deal anymore. You probably don't want to pull on banners simply for getting things that add to your magic or attack or mind statistics. We can hope that they raise the soft caps with a 5-star Magicite, maybe. That would be nice. Or the new Torments. Anyway, Celeste is next. Save the Queen, OSB. Triple Power Crystal. Congrats, Sliven. Yeah, that's kind of awesome. OSB, 1 single target, overflow, holy and wind, multiplier skills with magic attacks taken. It's fine. It's fine. It's going to be decent for the future, I guess. The thing is, Celeste is fine with this now, but when she gets her USB, she's going to be ability doubling Spellblade attacks, which in many situations is just a faster cast time OSB, because not only do you automatically cast your Spellblade twice, but you have a 25% chance to cast a Spellblade again, which would potentially exceed the damage that an OSB does. So this is a here and now power relic, and not for the future power relic. But it's still good. It's still good because Celeste is a good character. Even though she doesn't really do wind damage all that well. She does do Snow Spell Strike, but she's very much a holy character. But that's fine, because it's not like most people have more than one element on their OSB anyway. Next up is Ragnarok Reverse Soul Break 2, which is a pretty good pickup if you don't have a high runic. 8 single target, Holy Ice, self attack and defense plus 30%, and high runic or Grand Cross, same thing. Taunts all magical attacks to you and absorbs them that aren't NAT type. For those of you who don't know what NAT type is, it is basically every attack in the game now. So high runic is not what it used to be. It just kind of breaks certain fights. Just not hard content. Specifically these days, some multiplayer fights. Lightbringer is Burst Soul Break 1, which works fine. It's definitely not obsolete because it's a party buff and gives her Unholy. It's something that she doesn't have otherwise unless you get her USB eventually. Oh, wait a second. That doesn't even have Unholy. So this is her only way to get Unholy. Celeste's Cloak, her LMR, 25% chance to dual cast Spellblade. Extremely good thing for Celeste. Celeste likes to cast Spellblades and nothing else. And Excalibur is another way for her to get High Runic. It's passable. If you don't have another source, it works fine. It's not elemental damage, so it works in every single fight. It's fine. Next up, we have Tifa's USB, or Tifa. And her USB is 10 single target non-elemental earth, haste, high regen, and 100% radiant shield to the party. It's got some issues. It's just a plain typed haste. And with Haska being an ability in the future, and you normally being... There's so many good Haska buffs in the game. We just got 2 incredible... or actually 3, but... 2 and 1 incredible physical Haska. And we're going to be getting more in the future, and we have, you know, ROMs as a thing. I don't really consider this to be a very good USB. If there's something I can say about it now that I couldn't before, that would be for Ixion. Ixion is a 4-star Magicite that is... Obviously, it's a lightning Magicite. And his little gimmick thing is that he dispels the party. And because he's a lightning Magicite, that means he's weak to earth damage. So, 10 single target earth, okay, check. Haste, that's actually a nice thing if you're getting dispelled. And 100% radiant shield, which is fine in a Magicite, 4-star Magicite when they do, you know, as much damage as they do, because that will actually increase her damage output. I still don't think it's that great of a soul break, but I think it is definitely made more usable than it was because of Ixion. Tifa's OSB, Earth. Tifa's BSB2, 8 single target Imperil Earth. I do value Imperil more than I do an element in most cases. Tifa's issue right now, until the future when she gets her USB 2, is that she's an Earth Monk, and if you're going to be using all of this stuff with her, the best ability that she has to use with all of it is Gaia Rush, which is not a very good ability. It doesn't hit very hard. It only has a plus 20% crit to try to make up for that multiplier, and it really doesn't. So that's going to shade everything that you see here in kind of a poor way. But I can think of an instance where she could still be good, and that would be with her Burst Soul Break 2, which is Imperil Earth, and if you also have her LMR 2, which is Start the Battle with Unearth. Then you've got a pretty good, powerful damage combo that's pretty valuable, and you're able to use Gaia Rushes. Remember, you're getting plus 50% from the Unearth that you start the battle with, and the Imperil Earth too, so that may allow her to do enough damage to be able to compete with other Earth damage dealers. Everything else here, her BSB 1 is really not good. Her LMR 1 is definitely not good. Attack plus 1% for each physical hit dealt, not good at all. And her Super Soul Break 1 is just self attack plus 50%. That is an ancient, archaic Super Soul Break, and you don't want it. Garnet. Garnet is one of the better characters on this banner. Her USB, 7 Area of Effect Lightning, non-elemental summon attacks, and Lightning and Judgment Bolt to the user. Magic and Mind plus 30% to the party. What's nice about this USB is it's the only one that has this little trait. Judgment Bolt is an automatic chase. It's not a chase. What do we call it? Like it's just a periodic summon attack. When you cast your USB every 3.5 seconds, Rama appears out of nowhere and just hits the boss. So you don't have to do anything to trigger it. That's good, because Garnet is a really effective character when she doesn't have to use damaging attacks, as well as when she does. So you can choose to do either, because Garnet's a Bard 5, natural Bard 5, that can be boosted to Bard 6, and that allows her to use Allegro con Moto, which is a really good thing for a mage party. And, you know, Magic and Mind plus 30% to party, she's meant to be used as a buffer in a mage party. So Garnet being able to add lightning damage, buffing the party with her entry, and being free to use things like heals if you need them, Allegro con Moto, or she can use Valagramanda if you need it. I think her USB makes her a pretty versatile character to add and buff up another magical character on your mage team. That magical character is not on this banner, unfortunately. The most prominent one is Ashe, but there's a couple others. Anyway, next up we have Rama's Staff, Burst Soul Break 2. Party attack and magic plus 30%, area of effect, and Peril Lightning in a burst mode. For the same reason, this is all passive stuff. Area effects and Peril Lightning, so it doesn't give her End Lightning. That's the important part about that, because with End Lightning, that's a benefit that you're supposed to make use of. As you're, you know, because you're forced to use abilities with it. And Peril Lightning is something you inflict on the boss so other people can take advantage of it. That's another good thing for Garnet to have. This is not as good as it used to be, you know, power creep being a thing, but still, this is still an effective burst, even in this day and age. And probably the nicest part about it is it's a plus lightning staff. And plus lightning mage gear is actually kind of difficult to come by right now. Speaking of plus lightning mage gear, we have one of the nicest ones that was an MVP relic way back in the day, and is still good because the plus lightning mage gear is so difficult to find. Garnet's Burst Soul Break 1, Dagger of Resolve. Please don't use the burst, just augment the dagger and, you know, use it as a stat stick for lightning mages to use. Next up is Super Soul Break 2, which is Party Magic and Defense plus 30%, HP Stock 3000. Again, party buff, passive effect, allows her to do her thing. Yeah, it's a super, but it's part of her theme. You're probably not going to use this, but I wouldn't fault someone for finding a place to use it, like in a Sid mission or a Crystal Tower. When, you know, spreading out your primary buffs is scarce. Next up, Wizard Rod was one of the most enduring Super Soul Breaks in the game. At Party Resistance plus 30%, Haste and High Regen. It's a Heiska, right? I don't know. I think it's still fine. I still probably have use for it. I've used it in Crystal Tower. But it's a super. It's showing its age. Lamia's Tiara, stat buff duration plus 30%. Unfortunately, not so great. She does do stat buffs, and this will increase those, like the ones you see on her Super 2, her Burst Soul Break 2, and her USB. But her Bard things don't get affected by it. The two stat buff Bard abilities, the attack and the magic one, don't get buffed by this. Allegro con Moto doesn't get buffed by this because that's turn-based. That's not really a good LMR. Her Legend Dive's good, though. Moving on, this is not a 25 mithril banner, this is full. So it's a really, really huge pool for a full price banner. Yuna's Conductor, USB, Mediga, 85, Party Raise, 40%, and Guts and Haste. I don't really like this USB. Not because it's bad, but because there's so many other versions of it in the game that are better at doing what it does, because it wastes one of its effects by raising the party 40%. If it weren't for that, then this would actually be pretty good. It's hard in anywhere but multiplayer to support a healer that has a 2.5 cast time medica, and that's the issue with this thing. This really is just meant to be a multiplayer MVP. Yuna's US or BSB2, probably your best relic, is Summoner's Garb. Cura Medica, Magic and Mind plus 30% to party, and Burst Mode. The Burst Mode is just, you know, healer things, and the relic itself is plus Holy. So it's a plus Holy relic, and it's a party buff. Party buff that gives the ability to use Medica command is good in every single situation that we've encountered it. Deuce, Afmao, Yuna, Porom. All good. Next up, Tiny B, the meme itself. 10 single target, non-elemental magic attacks, burst mode. It's not good. It's not good. It's funny. It's funny. Please laugh. Please laugh at it if you get it. If you pull on this banner, please laugh. Yuna's Chaos Rod. Kiraga Medica in 2000 HP stock. It has appeared on many banners, and it has become kind of a joke because of that. But what has been lost in that mess is that it's actually a pretty decent super for its healing potential. But it's just a lot of people have it, so people get a little ragey when it comes to this relic because it's a bit of a dupe for a lot of people. Full Metal Rod is awful. 5 area effect non-elemental summon magic attacks and resistance plus 30% for party. Just terrible. Just terrible. Next up, we have Riku and her USB. Good USB, Protect and Shell and Haste and Attack and Magic plus 30% to party. It's a nice Haska for hybrid teams, and saves a couple ability slots on the team if you need it. So that's good, and probably what's more valuable and will be a little bit more resistant to power creep, which, because this is power creep is hitting this quite a bit because there's so many good stat boost Haskas in the game now, and there will be continue to be even more in the future. Is it's a plus water fist weapon. Plus water relics are tough to find, and there aren't any water monks in the game, but there are water characters that can make use of this. Most importantly, Onion Knight, Edge, and Yuffie. Would very much appreciate having this relic. Those are all 3 top tier characters, and boom, this is for them. Riku's Burst Soul Break, 10 random water ranged attacks in Peril Water burst mode. Not a bad burst. Don't look at the commands because they're really bad, but the 10 attacks in Imperil Water is nice, and she does have a way to exploit the weakness with Sapphire Shot. It's not bad. Really, it may be the most easy to understand way to use Riku. The unfortunate part is, you know, we've all heard the stories about Riku's Legend Dive and how she buffs 3 different things, which is Machinist, Celerity, and stat buffing, and it's all kind of weak. But if you need it in Pearl Water, it's really not a bad place to get it. Her Super Soul Break 2, the Thief's Costume. Party, Attack and Magic plus 30% and Self-Instacast 2. There's nothing wrong with that. Because that is all elemental. It's really just not a bad thing for Riku to have. Yeah, it's not going to be used at the top tier, but as far as Super Soul Breaks go, that's pretty awesome. Her giving herself Instacast 2 is a pretty powerful buff, and it comes with a party buff with it. It's actually pretty good. And Fourth Knuckles isn't bad either. 6 single target physical attacks, attack and resistance minus 50%, attack and resistance plus 30% to self. Nice Sid mission item. It's okay. And Warrior's Charge, just talked about her LMR. It's just good for using machinist abilities. Unfortunately, she's a water character. There are no water machinist abilities, so it's kind of weird. I guess it's supposed to be... The best use of it would be with USB and Super, because they're kind of non-elemental. For the 3 machinist elements, fire, ice, and lightning. Riku's stuff is not that great here, but at least you've got the water fist weapon. That's a really good thing. And lastly, we have another top tier character in lightning. Razor Carbine. 10 single target lightning non-elemental attacks. I'm sure you've seen a ton of this today. Because both Guardian and Ultros are lightning battles, so we've seen a ton of lightnings. 10 single target lightning non-elemental, quick cast 1. No, that's not quick cast 1, it's high quick cast 1. And X flash to the user. X flash is plus 30% attack and grants her high quick cast whenever she uses a lightning attack. So it's a lightning high quick cycle, which means just keep on using lightning attacks and you keep on tripling your cast speed. Really awesome. It's great on a great character with a great legend dive, and that's probably what boosts this into the top tier. Otherwise, this would probably be A tier stuff. It's the fact that lightning is as good as she is. Gladius OSB, single target lightning. Yeah, it's just a lightning OSB. Good because the character it's on is really good, and her soul breaks are really good. Her burst soul break is even really good. Not Overture. They put these a little differently. Overtures are burst soul break 1. It's bad. It's just non-elemental damage. Gives her a small chance to interrupt or slow depending on the command you use. It's really just bad. But her second burst is really good. It's still relevant to this day. Enkindler is 8 random lightning and Imperil lightning with fast cast commands. Because she's such a potent damage dealer of lightning, especially with 5-star spellblades, it makes this a good Imperil. Her LMR, 25% chance to dual cast lightning abilities. That's great. No, Overture is not even in lightning. It's really just bad. I have it. Trust me. It's terrible. Peacemaker is super old, is one of the first super soul breaks in the game, is just 5 area effect lightning attacks. Terrible. Etro's Embrace is the direct upgrade to that. 8 area of effect lightning non-elemental and gives her end lightning at the same time. That's not awful. And the nice thing about that, and one thing I didn't mention, I forgot to mention, is the Razor Carbine, or awesome USB, is a 6-star plus lightning sword. So even if you have no intention on using lightning, you have other people on your lightning team, that is a great weapon. And Etro's Embrace is plus lightning light armor. Okay, so looking at this banner in its entirety. Lena doesn't have a whole lot good going for her, but she does have a really powerful USB. Faris, I'm just gonna say that she's a decent character. Like, we're running with some pretty low percentages right now, and unfortunately these kind of percentages that you're looking at for, like, good things to pull, they're lucky draw type stuff. Like, you would be okay with spending 25 mithril on the banner. You know, half price, okay, I've got a good chance of getting a lot of good stuff. But at full price, let's see if we can try. Creole, Chain, good. LMR, good. OSB, good. Terra, 3 things out of 7. Celeste actually has a pretty good concentration of good stuff. But I would be less thrilled with getting these things if I already had a high runic. If I did, then Celeste things are probably not that crazy for me anymore. Tifa, if you're dying for Earth, but Tifa's just an okay Earth character at this point. She turns into a mega tier Earth character at one point, but that is like 5.5 months away, so That is not now. Garnet's got some good stuff. The USB's good. These are both two good relics. Not too thrilled with Yuna's things. Yuna does have the Burst Soul Break. If you don't have a healer burst that buffs, that would be a nice thing to look forward to. But that's 1 out of 5. Riku, I personally would put it as another 1 out of 5 unless you're desperate for water things. Because while she can be an Imperial Water character, she's probably going to get pushed off your water teams pretty easily. So you'd need to be truly desperate for this to be a win. Now Lightning has a ton of good stuff. USB, OSB, Burst Soul Break 2, and Lightning Armor on her Super Soul Break 2, and LMR. Lightning has a really nice concentration of stuff. I don't like this banner. There's a lot of good stuff on it, but there's just too much stuff on it. There's just too much stuff on it. For full price and getting lucky draw type odds, it's pretty trappy. It's trapping the waifu pullers. If I can offer some alternatives. Lightning has a banner that is coming up in the next festival, dedicated to her with modern things with a UOSB on the banner. That's going to most likely have her USB, her Burst Soul Break 2, and her LMR. Her best stuff is probably going to be on that banner. If you are a Lightning waifu puller, no, bad. You don't want this banner because there is something so much better coming up for Lightning. And yes, festival banners usually do change, but Lightning is getting her UOSB on that banner. It is brand new, it is guaranteed to be there. So they will be matching that up with things that also belong to Lightning. Count on these things being there. Riku. Riku has her time in the sun 2 festivals from now, so I can't say that there's a better alternative for this. The next Final Fantasy X event. So yeah, that's not good enough, I don't think. Maybe it is. If you're looking for Riku things, maybe it is. Maybe getting... Because that's a banner with Tidus and Riku on it. And that's where Tidus's UOSB occurs. Oh, I'm gonna go look at it. I always do that. I need to put something on the main page for Record Keeper. Might as well put something in the space. Even if it's just text talking about the game or something. So this is the banner I'm talking about. Tidus UOSB, Yuna USB 2, Riku USB 2, and Yuna USB. Like if you're... And I can cover Yuna here too. Yuna's USB is here, Yuna's BSB2 is here, that's that nice Holy Armor buffing burst that I talked about. Her USB2 is here, which turns her into a damage dealer. So Yuna and Riku, if you're looking for those 2 characters, they're both on the same banner. This is totally where you're looking for. It has both of Yuna's good Legend materia on it, and Tidus too. This is definitely the banner you're looking for her. Not here. I won't talk about Yuna because it just did. Garnet isn't it completely... She's got her own banner that's so much better than what you just saw on that Dress of the Nines banner. And that's in the next Final Fantasy IX event. That will be... I have it ETA'd for the end of February. In the Final Fantasy X event with the Riku and Yuna on it, by the way, is at the end of March. So that will coincide with 3rd anniversary, unfortunately. But anyway, this Final Fantasy IX event that has Garnet on it. is headlined by Kusha's USB, extremely good magical dark damage, Vivi's USB, which is almost all element, just gross bizarro damage, Garnet's USB, and Kuja's OSB, which is good on good characters, and his USB is here, and it makes him a good character. Along with some good burst soul breaks, including Vivi's burst, Garnet's other burst, the lightning staff I talked about on the Dress of the Nines banner. It's just a lot higher percentage of value on this banner than you're going to see on Dress of the Nines. So that's an alternative to that. Tifa's got more difficulty. Because there aren't any Final Fantasy VII events. There is an Earth banner in 3rd Anniversary. Tifa's BSB2 did appear here, and her LMR did, but those aren't guaranteed to come back. So the biggest Tifa thing is one I already talked about, and that would be even further into the future. 3rd Anniversary is what we're going to be talking about a lot in the coming days. And that's at the end of March. Fast forward 3 months. At the end of June, and then you get a banner that has Tifa on it. So I can't really consider this as like a good alternative because it's way too far away. But it is really good. If you're a Tifa fan, this is the banner you're looking forward to. Her UOSB and USB 2 are both on it. She becomes an awesome, awesome character. Celeste. Celeste has an event. I did talk about it briefly. We have Locke's UOSB, Locke's USB 2, Celeste's USB, which is a Spellblade ability double, so she guarantees double casts Spellblades as long as you have the hones to use them with. It also gives High Runic. It also gives Spellblade damage plus 30%. This is your Celeste banner if you're in the mood for Celeste. Also Edgar, who's a pretty good character. He's not just a bio anymore. Terra. We have an active Terra banner, which is a better banner than this one for pulling Terra things. The banner is currently active. How long is it active for? For 3 more days. Not only do we have an active banner for Terra, but we have another one coming in the future. And that would be at the end of March, 3rd Anniversary. The 5th banner. In the same vein as Lightning, who gets her UOSB and is going to have a banner tailored to her, Terra also gets a UOSB and also gets Terra things on this banner as well. And that includes her UOSB, her flash art. Most likely we'll have her Burst Soul Break too, and we'll almost certainly have her dual casting Legend Materia. And if you're a Yuffie fan, this is also a Yuffie banner, and this is also, I'm not going to say Creole banner, because this is not new, and this is kind of, has a pretty decent likelihood of being changed, so I'm just going to call this Terra Yuffie. Creole does have a banner coming up, but it's kind of different. Because the banner coming up doesn't have her chain, it has her USB on it, which is a fantastic and awesome USB. If any of you have seen Ash's USB around, it is exactly that, just fire instead of lightning. So that is, it also has Creel's OSB on that banner. So if you're a Creole, you're a Beastmaster Creole fan, I don't blame you if you are. There will be that banner in the Final Fantasy V event coming at the beginning of God, sorry, I haven't done that in a while. The beginning of March. I am getting better. I have noticed that. The second banner of this event has Creel's USB, Exdeath's Grand Cross, or High Runic if you're in the market for one of those. Bart's OSB if you need that, and Creel's OSB. This is a very Creole banner. Yeah, we're wearing the taco suit whenever I make pulls because it's been pretty lucky ever since I donned it. I'm pretending that I'm superstitious. Right, Huffer Nudes. It's also has Bartz's last. Well, it's going to be his second to last burst soul break, which gives him end fire. It's what I call his Infinity Gauntlet burst soul breaks to end fire and enable his USB. So that is that's your Creole banner, but that's something you have to decide, because this banner has her chain on it. That the banner in the future for Creole has her USB on it. Both awesome, and there is at least a decent chance that Creole's CSB will appear on that Yuffie Terra banner in the future, because a trait, which I will go over this when we preview 3rd anniversary. A trait of these banners is that they've been putting chains on all of them. Creole and Titus on this one. Banner 4 is a wind banner. The wind chain is on this one. Banner 3 is an earth banner. The earth chain. Banner 2, lightning ice. Lightning and ice chain. So because Creole's showed up here, because it's a fire banner, you can expect either Creole's chain to be here or Locke's chain to be here. That's... I say there's probably a 51% chance that it's Creole's and a 49% chance that it's Locke's. Because Creole's showed up on Japan's. And yes, they do change things, but they're less likely to change things than they are to not change things. So, that is something to think about if you're in the market for Creole's chain. That this would be a much better banner to pull for it. You just kind of have to cross your fingers and hope that it appears here. Faris died. Faris doesn't appear anywhere. This is your Faris waifu banner. Wow, the Final Fantasy V event, she's not even on there at all. Not on the festivals. She's gone. Yeah, wow. No occurrence of anything Faris for the foreseeable future. Okay, Lena. Her USB unfortunately does not recur. So I can't even suggest to you an alternative Lena banner. I want to verify that. I don't know the summer festival banners as well as I think I do. Yeah, this would probably be the banner that it showed up on. The only thing you're looking at for recurrence is the Bursal Break 2. That'll be in the next Final Fantasy V event on that Creole banner. It will be probably in a festival because it's because of the minor ice resistance. It's considered kind of an elementally focused relic, which increases its likelihood to be on festivals. But that's only just an okay burst. It's not like something you'd pull for on somebody. So Lena, if you're in the market for Lena's dress, unfortunately, this is your place to get it. Rydia, because water mages aren't really a thing, she doesn't appear anywhere else. How about that Final Fantasy IV event? Hey, Meowcrosoft, what's going on? No Rydia things. So, This is Uridia banner too. With Uridia and Faris not being all, like, super useful characters in the game right now, and those being the only two where you don't really have a good alternative to look to, and I guess Lena as well. Lena is a good character, but the thing that makes her good does not recur elsewhere. I would have to say that unless you want a ton of these characters' relics, and you know that you're not going to get, you know, all of these characters' relics in a single place, there are better alternatives for everything that is good on this banner. So I would probably suggest to just about everybody, no pulls. It's a lucky draw. It's a full price lucky draw. No bueno. Well, nice to see you back, Soraka. I'll call you that. I'll call you whatever your name is now. I know you change it a lot. Oh, think Global will get this? We know that Global will get this. We have a date mined for it, and the banner itself has been translated. January 18th. Yep, 1 week. Was there any like questions or stuff that I missed in chat while I was on my tirade? Let's call this a free Mithril event. Free Mithril, free moats, and free dress records. A week off. Anything worth pulling on? There are actually decent banners. There is not an event that we usually experience, it's a special event. And there are fights and stuff. Yeah. I can't really suggest either of those. This Final Fantasy 1 banner is good. Yeah, the second one as well has 2 chains on it, so these are going to be interesting to look at. But I'm going to review these things. I don't really care for either of these banners. One of these banners is pretty high grade, and the second one isn't bad either. Yeah, any banner Ramses USB is on is going to be worthwhile. We have a Faris clone here just for Imperial Earth, and 3 different stats on Melee Duel. The nice part about this is the 6-star Earth armor. Glacial gun for Mustadio. That is a plus fire gun. This banner is not bad. But I wouldn't say that it's like something you'd be looking forward to unless you were a fan of the characters like Solus is of Melee Duel. I think a lot of people, my big suggestion right now after the festival, after Onion Night is, unless these banners are like super stick out to you, you should probably be in save for 3rd anniversary mode. 3rd anniversary is going to be incredible. And I think I'm going to do the event preview on it tomorrow. But the first banner of this event could be one of those for you.